Mr. Carstens, thank you for agreeing to do this interview with us. What do you and your colleagues at the IMFC see as the main policy priorities to lift global growth?
Well, first of all, thank you for the interview. The main aspects are first for those countries to have that have space in using, for example, fiscal policy to stimulate growth, to use that space for the continuation of accommodative monetary policy among advanced economies, and particularly to induce major structural changes that have macro implications, which basically would lift both current growth but also potential growth.
What structural reforms need to be implemented in order to avoid the problem of the new mediocre to become the new reality?
Well, in particular, it's very important to increase potential GDP. So basically to unleash reforms that would give place to higher investment. Corporate investment has not recovered since the 2009 crisis. So for example, in the case of Mexico, the opening of the oil sector will induce a lot of investment in a sector that otherwise would be very difficult to get.
It's been said that 2015 is going to be a big year for sustainable development.
Yes.
What are the three issues that we need to be aware of in this context?
Well, again, it's mostly to mobilize resources to reduce poverty, to have shared prosperity, and also to comply with new defined development goals for all the countries. In this context, what will be very important for institutions like the fund and the members that are represented here is how to mobilize resources precisely to abate poverty, to have broader development and to have cleaner development and in particular sustainable development.
IMF quota and governance reform are an important issue for the membership. What are the next steps?
Well, basically, we're waiting for the U.S. to do all the legislative actions that would allow it to ratify the 2010 reforms. That's the key element. That's what will bring us to the best possible result. Certainly, the membership is disappointed that the U.S. has not been able to deliver in this respect, and therefore what the membership has done in this meeting is to urge the U.S. to deliver in ratifying this reform. Interim steps could be taken, but they are second best. The board will, and the institution, the staff will work on these interim steps, but by definition they are second best. So our best hope is to have all these reforms ratified by the U.S., and in that way we would have a really strong institution in terms of lending capacity based on quotas, with much better governance, having stronger participation of emerging markets in the governance of the fund.
What are your main priorities as the new chair of the International Monetary and Finance Committee as we look forward to the annual meetings in Peru this October?
Well, basically, I think we need to continue strengthening the international monetary system. I think that we have been under a path where most countries have been looking to the benefit of themselves, but we are at a stage now where more countries can start looking into how can they coordinate better their actions, and in that respect, to use the fund as a very important anchor or as a pivot to get that improvement in the international monetary system. The fund has a central role to play, and I hope that we can build that new role starting in the Peru's annual meetings.
Mr. Carstens, thank you for this interview.
My pleasure. Thank you very much.